This video is a continuation of our study on the Ten Commandments. We now look at the commandments that relate to our relationship with people, and specifically, this video will just cover the next two commandments. Commandment number 5, honor your father and your mother. Honor, this also involves love, loyalty, and obedience. Ephesians 6:1 states, children, obey your parents, and this is the first command with a promise. The promise, long life and blessed. I would say that I believe that if you obey your parents, there will be some measure of blessing that will come to your life. I'm not going to specifically say what it is. I would just say that there is a measure of blessing that would come. And as we think about honoring parents, letter C here doesn't specifically relate to this commandment, but it makes me think about just respecting authority, and that authority is from God. We first begin as children to respect authority through our parents, and if we learn that, then we can learn that as we go through life. There are some people that just dig in their heels and they just do not respect authority. And quite frankly, this can cause a lot of problems in life. Of course, in situations of abuse, the child needs to do everything they can to get out of abusive situations. In general, that's not the case. The point isn't that you agree with your parents or that your parents are like all the other parents, are making decisions like the other parents. The point is, at this point in your life, God is calling you to honor, love, obey your parents. And this is for a time. I still honor my parents, but obviously I'm not at a stage of obeying them. But I remember being in high school, struggling with this at times. However, at the end of the day, I truly did honor my parents, and I believe that I have received blessing from God because of that. Number 6, you shall not murder. This involves the premeditated taking of a life. So there's some intentionality on this. This isn't, a mistake, but is that you intentionally kill someone. Now, when it comes to taking of a life, then we begin to deal with some ethical issues regarding abortion and euthanasia. Typically, the word euthanasia isn't used anymore. It would be physician-assisted suicide. Obviously, both of these very controversial. Many people believe that they're morally acceptable, and many people believe that they actually fit under this command, you shall not murder, and that's why we shouldn't do them. And then Jesus expands this command to apply to the heart, and so he refers to anger and hatred being a part of this command. I want us to think for a moment about end-of-life issues, very important from an ethical perspective. The literal meaning of the word euthanasia actually means good death. It does not mean youth living in Asia. That was funny, maybe. No. Okay. Second, when it comes to end-of-life issues, there are times when death is imminent or somebody has or is classified as being brain dead, and so life support will be withheld. So withholding life support when death is imminent or when brain death is involved, this is not a morally controversial situation. Now, the next two are morally controversial. Number 1 is passive euthanasia. This is withholding life support when death is not imminent. Death is not right around the corner, but to hasten or to bring about death, there is the withholding of life support. And then second, active euthanasia, which today is referred to as physician-assisted suicide. is an action to bring about death when death is not imminent. There are some states in America and countries in the world that have laws that allow this. The value of life. Life is a gift from God, and it's not based on usefulness or feeling. Life has no value. We're created in God's image. This gives us value. Our usefulness or feelings do not make our life valuable. Stem cells. This just has to do with medical ethics in general. Adult stem cells are specialized. For instance, there are skin stem cells that can be used to create more healthy skin cells. In addition, there has been medical promise with umbilical cord stem cells. And then a type of stem cell that's quite rare. It can be found in umbilical cord blood and some other tissues. These are pluripotent stem cells. The point is that they're found in the human body after the person has been born. And then there are embryonic stem cells. There has been no medical advances on this front, but these stem cells do differentiate. However, when you do research with embryonic stem cells, you destroy the embryo. And here is where the moral controversy comes. And so life is sacred. When does life begin? So is destroying an embryo actually destroying a life or not? That is the question. We should not base our decisions on what is useful for us. Utilitarian ethics, like, it doesn't matter if we kill the embryo just because it is useful for us. There are, of course, many other medical ethical issues, but we will stop there for today.